Hello guys, welcome back to Sports Angle. My name is Shantanu and I am going to be presenting to you today the three best managers of all time in football. Now, according to my opinion, these three are the best. I do not have any agenda or anything in place. But after the video ends, I would like to know your thoughts on the same. So please give it a like, share and subscribe and enjoy this video. Thank you so much. Sir Alex Ferguson. Now that's a name which is not a lightweight in football, that's a heavyweight in football. And we always use that name to emphasize greatness, hard work, and grit. One of the greatest managers of all time, indeed. He spent a majority of his career at Manchester United, winning the league 13 times, the Champions League twice, the UEFA Super Cup twice, and the Club World Cup once. Now, what led to this? Now, there are three answers to this, and I would like to obviously answer it in three parts. The first part is obviously talking about the tactical shift. For the majority of the start of his career, he played in a 4-4-2 with two strikers up front, and the success of that was seen with the Dwight York and Andy Cole partnership, which was formidable and also led to a lot of winning of silverware. Now, as they digressed into the 2000s, you saw him adapting to a more 4-3-3 formation, sometimes even a 4-2-3-1. But his winning combination was always a 4-3-3, and that gave the birth of a Rooney, Ronaldo, and Tevez up front. That was really good to see. Now, his ideologies were to always play with kids who have dynamic power and pace, and the desire to win. And thereby, he proved Alan Hansen wrong, that you can win a lot with kids, paving the way for the class of '92 as well, which had the likes of Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, David Beckham, and so on and so forth. Now, there was obviously an external recruitment policy he always followed, was to buy the best talent in the league. Now, for example, we can talk about the likes of Roy Keane from Nottingham Forest, who was bought on a Premier League record then, or even for that matter, Eric Cantona, natural leaders walking into the room and just electrifying that place. Now, his other philosophy also he believed in towards the latter stage of his career was to buy up and coming talent in Europe. Two prime examples of that were Cristiano Ronaldo, and you see what kind of a player he's become now, and Ruud van Nistelrooy, who just believed in scoring goals. These are the technical side of things. I do believe that Sir Alex Ferguson had this notion about himself where he knew the exact pressure point of every player and how to get the best out of them. Now, words, titles cannot emphasize how great this man was and how he impacted the beautiful game we love. Sir Alex Ferguson will always be one of the greatest managers of all time and a football revolutionary. Now, soon after this came the Mourinho era. Mourinho, this guy from Portugal who had just won the UCL with Porto, was soon absorbed into the Premier League when Chelsea was taken over by Roman Abramovich. Roman Abramovich clearly saw that this person had a personality in him, a winning mentality, and moreover was the right person to take Chelsea to where they saw it. Now, obviously, Mourinho was a very shrewd manager, as we all know. He soon came into England and he made the press realize that he was a special one. He was someone who just won the Champions League with Porto, and in that particular journey, he also knocked Manchester United out, who was then the best team in England. So the Mourinho versus Sir Alex Ferguson duel had already begun, and one of the most exciting rivalries in the Premier League era had it started to erupt. Now, Mourinho obviously used the spending power which Roman Abramovich presented to him to his clear benefit. He bought the players like Drogba, Cech, Terry, Carvalho, who were really good, strong, and absolute colossus in the air, and very superb defensively, which was one of his main prerequisites to get any player at Chelsea. He had a very defensive approach to the game where he played up front with a target man. Now again, he also played with a 4-3-3, but the striker was low up there, and with two attackers supporting through constant supply. Now at Chelsea, he won the title twice, and he defended it both the times. That was in his initial spell, but then in his return spell, he also managed to win the title with a similar style, and not much had changed about him except for the fact that he said that he had more grey hair and more experience and more trophies. Now, if we talk about him as a prime man management person, yes, he's a supreme motivator. And so his players have even quoted that they would like to go out and kill for Mourinho on the pitch. Now, Mourinho obviously was one of the most successful managers in the Premier League, and also happens to be one of the most influential football coaches Chelsea has happened to have in their history. Now, he's won the Champions League twice, he's won the Premier League thrice, and now he is in Italy. So let's see what he does there. Pep Guardiola, someone who's mentioned in the same breath as Jose Mourinho because of the feud they had had, and they have an intense rivalry. And it goes back to the time where both of them were getting their coaching badges under Louis van Gaal at Barcelona. It then slowly progressed on to the fact that back in 2007, Jose Mourinho wanted Pep Guardiola's job at Barcelona, and there was a competition going on between the both, and the Barcelona board was in a conflict. But Barcelona decided to go with Pep only because he was part of their La Masia and he was a part of them as a player. So he knew the culture, and Barcelona didn't want to go down Mourinho's way, that way where they wanted to play defensive football. Now, obviously, Pep Guardiola brought a lot of flavor into the Barcelona team. He obviously embodied the culture which was there of keeping the ball as much as possible, and he elevated the passing frequency to somewhat what we know, the tiki-taka style. Now, the two differences he made to that particular style was to create a high tempo. That means no player is having more than 2 to 3 touches on the ball, and at the same time, the maximum possession needs to be kept till the halfway line, but beyond the halfway line, you have to play more vertical, restricting also certain players to give the final ball. If observed, Barcelona's final ball authorities only lied with Messi, Xavi, Iniesta and Busquets. None other than these players were obviously even having the authority of giving the ball in the final third. That's how authoritative Pep Guardiola was. He also believed that the striker should be playing out wide and should only be getting into the play once the ball has come into the final third. This is famously quoted by Thierry Henry, how he wanted them to play with freedom in the final third as well. Obviously, he had a unique style of play, and he went on to coach legendary players like Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Piqué, Puyol, Eric Abidal, and so on and so forth. There have been arguments saying that Pep Guardiola could not do it in a system where it's not his players or he's not given the money to spend, but he has won at Bayern and at Manchester City, irrespectively. He is the only manager after the former these two who have mentioned, which is Mourinho and Sir Alex Ferguson, who have successfully defended the Premier League title. Now, these three managers, they embody greatness, and the most important thing is not the trophies that they have won, it's the way they have influenced the game. They have changed perceptions, changed trends, and seen players also embodying their philosophies.